Hello, my name is D, Jojo the Awesome, and these are 10 useful farms that you should make with Create Mod in your Vault Hunters world. This is just a showcase video, so I'm not going to be doing any tutorials on these farms, but if you'd like to see a block by block tutorial, let me know down in the comments, and I'll work on it just for you. To start us off, it's one for the Vault Altar, a super useful farm and super simple to set up, just a mechanical bearing, some chests, portable storages, and harvesters. We have an automatic crop farm. I have it done here with wheat, and that produces wheat and seeds, but this can really do any crop that grows like this: beetroot, flax, potatoes, carrots, any of that. So this is an amazing passive farm, and you can actually link it together with some other farms. We'll get into that later. Super simple. Farm number 1 done. Coming on to farm number 2, another spinning farm, and an old reliable one at that. This is the tree farm. Super useful, especially for those late game vaulters that want tons and tons of wood. It's just like your crop farm over there, but you use saws instead of harvesters, and in the back you hook up some deployers to place down the saplings as it spins around. Super useful, and you can see it produces tons of things. It can produce apples, more saplings, oak, sticks. This produces quite a bit. You could even modify it to do 2x2 trees, like the big dark oaks, big spruces, or even the big jungles. And if I grow this tree up, you'll see it is absolutely no problem. It's just going to carve through the base of this tree. And once it breaks that last block, you'll watch it's going to mine the whole tree. Oh, it's so satisfying. And deposit it right into the chest. You can even get the bananas from the jungle trees. So every single type of wood can be harvested except for the netherwoods. This method doesn't work for the netherwoods, but it does work for any sapling-based trees. Farm number 3 is super simple, super cute. We've got a cobblestone generator. Nice and easy and simple to make, but so useful. Here, I'll even turn up the speed so it's not so slow, because these farms can be instrumental. Cobblestone is obviously an amazing crafting thing, and you can even just waterlog drills, put some lava above it, and there you go. Use some chutes to bring it into hoppers, and you've got yourself the simplest cobblestone farm. So fast to set up, so cheap. And cobblestone can actually be used in some of the other farms we're going to look at today to produce some awesome effects. So this is a really important one. Our next farms is more of a machine setup than a farm, but it can be used to produce a ton of items. That is a bulk smelter, a bulk washer, a bulk smoker, and a bulk haunter. Some of the most versatile, simple machines. All you need is the relevant block, which is lava, water, a campfire, and a soul campfire respectively, and then you just got to hook them up into encased fans that blow through them, and voila, you have each of these really simple farms set up. The smelter is pretty simple. If you need something smelted, it'll smelt it. If you need to smelt down a bunch of raw copper, or turn cobblestone into stone, or stone into smooth stone, or even cobble deep slate into regular deep slate, a bulk smelter is going to do that in record time. This is going to cut your smelting down by so much, which is super important when the vaulter starts asking for cooked resources, as well as when you just have a ton of raw chromatic iron, or hopefully you got that ton of raw chromatic iron. You know the struggle to cook it all down super quickly. Absolutely incredible. The bulk washer is extremely versatile for item creation. Gravel can be washed into flint and iron. Sand can be washed into clay balls. Soul sand can be washed into quartz and gold. Red sand can be washed into gold. Concrete powder can be turned into concrete, and crushed ores can be washed into 9 nuggets per 1 ore, as well as a chance of a different resource. In the case of crushed iron, it's redstone, which is like a little mini redstone farm. An absolutely incredible farm. While a bulk smoker's primary goal is to cook food, it has a secondary goal. It can turn logs into blocks of charcoal, and the blocks of charcoal you can just put in your crafting grid to turn it into charcoal, which is amazing if you don't want to go coal mining or build an annoying wither skeleton farm. Just use that tree farm all the way down there, plug it into a bulk smoker, and you have infinite charcoal. Charcoal for literal days. Absolutely incredible. And a bulk haunting setup is extremely useful. Say you don't really want to go digging for all that soul sand you need to make some quartz. Well, if you have yourself some regular sand, just drop it on in and watch as it's magically haunted into soul sand. In addition, if you find yourself in need of any prismarine objects and you have a good chunk of lapis on hand, guess what? You can turn lapis into prismarine. And we're not done yet. Take yourself some handy dandy cobblestone and turn it into blackstone. One of the most versatile of the 4 encased fan-based farms. Absolutely incredible farm. The next up on our list of farms is another machine, but still, it's so useful I just had to put it in this video because it is going to help you make every single other farm in this video. It is a deployer setup. Super simple, just a deployer pointed into a conveyor belt or really anywhere. I just like the conveyor belt because it's kind of automatic. This thing is going to allow you to automatically deploy whatever item you want onto another one. Bam! Automatic casings. You can put a stack of alloy in here, a stack of chromatic iron blocks in there, and just walk away, do something else while this goes on. You could also do the same thing with Larimar and shafts to make little cogwheels. It won't make the big ones, but it will make the small ones. And a really cool feature is infinite copper waxing. If you put a honeycomb block in, you'll see it doesn't use the honeycomb block, but it does wax all the copper. So if you have a ton of copper that you know you need to be waxed, just run it on through a deployer setup, and there you go, no problems. Just an incredible farm. The next one is another farm / machine because this thing can both produce items as well as just make things a little easier. It is a crushing wheel setup, and I could not recommend one of these enough for vault hunters. They're so important for one big reason: chromatic iron. If you put raw chromatic iron through crushing wheels, it will double it. It'll produce 2 chromatic iron dusts for 1 raw chromatic iron, which is such an insane return. If you're fortuning all your chromatic iron, which you should be, you're going to be getting like 4 times the amount you should get. 1 ore turns into an average of 4, which is insane because all of these machines you're seeing need casings. Every casing requires a block of chromatic iron. Okay, I sped these up for the purposes, but you can see I put 1 stack in and got 2 stacks out. Another fun thing they can do is produce a pseudo enchanting bottle. If you put your raw ores in, something you've already fortuned, but you still want to get, XP from it, you can throw them through the crushing wheels and get these nuggets of experience, which work kind of like enchanting bottles. You just right click and it sucks up all the XP. Super useful for Tenos altars and for repairing your tools. I'm not going to go through the full use case of crushing wheels because there's hundreds of things you can crush to make it more efficient, but my favorite is blaze rods, which turns blaze rods into 3 to 6 blaze powder. Yeah, 1 stack of blaze rods, almost 4 stacks of blaze powder. Super, super efficient. All right, back to actual farms. This is a flower farm. Simple, I know, but you'd be surprised how often the vaulter is going to ask you for dye and or flowers. And this is a really cute, really easy way. Uses a gantry carriage, those are super simple, and a deployer set to deploy, what's that called? Bone meal. Nice and simple, lots of storage, and you can see I've been running it for a little while, and look at all the flowers and seeds that we have. Just an incredible farm that is going to carry you through dyes and flowers for the vaulter. And if you put it in the right spot, you can get different types of flowers, different types of dyes, a bunch of things that you are going to need. On our list of great deployer farms is the animal pen farm. That's right. Deployers, which I have set up underneath of our animal pens, can use the respective items to shear sheep, to take honey bottles, or even shear the beehives, to milk cows, and you can see easy as pie, it'll fill up nice and quick. The wool seems to actually not work as well, unfortunately. It just kind of like throws the wool all over the place. So I'm unfortunately not sure what that is about, but I imagine that functionality is going to be fixed at some point. But you can even hear it just continue to go. You can hook up, bulk storage for many, many shears, many, many bottles, and it's just a super quick, super easy way to automate the easiest way to bring animals together. I mean, this is simplicity and usefulness at its maximum. I guess except for the milk. The milk's not very useful. But you could hook a sword up to this and actually automatically kill your animals, but you just want to make sure you're not killing them faster than you're breeding them, which you can also do with deployers. Alright, these last two are going to be much bigger and a lot more factory-like, so strap in. The first one we have is really cool. It's kind of a slime farm. I swear you used to be able to automatically do slime all the way to the last step, but they seem to have removed it in a recent update, or maybe I'm just insane. But you can easily produce most of the materials you need for a slime farm. It's super cool. This consists of an input line for wheat and an input line for something that produces lime dye. I'm going to be using sea pickles, which you can get from like botany pots. And of course, wheat can be gotten from handy dandy create wheat farms. Oh, it's so lovely over there. I'm going to crush the sea pickles, bringing the lime dye out and trashing everything else. And the lime dye is going to go into our drawer. And then over here, we're going to crush down our wheat, filter off the seeds, and bring the wheat flour that we get from crushing it. We're going to wash that wheat flour to turn it into dough and add it to our drawer. And when we have our lime dye and our dough, put those together in the crafting table, and you have a slime ball. A slime ball that you've made from crops. No mob farming, no cagerium, simplicity. And as an added bonus, it is an absolute joy to watch the items go through. Create factories are super satisfying. I mean, this is not only a really efficient and easy way to produce slime balls, but it's probably the most fun. I mean, look at the little lime dye going along the conveyor belt. It's adorable. And there you go. Dough and lime dye, infinite slime balls. Pretty much. And last but absolutely not least, farm number 10. This behemoth of a farm. This guy is massive, and I've actually built a fraction of it on my single player Let's Play world. But this is just an incredible contraption and will produce you a great majority of items the Vaulter asks for. It all starts over here with tons of cobblestone, which is very easy to generate with a fast cobblestone generator. Okay, what it's going to do is crush the cobblestone into gravel. We take some of our gravel and store it for later. You can see we already have 7,500. Some of our gravel is going to go and get washed for an automatic iron and flint farm. The rest of our gravel is going to travel on down and get crushed again, turning into sand, flint, and clay. The flint and clay get deposited into a chest. Some of our sand we're going to smelt down into glass. Infinite glass farm, because you can be asked for it. It's annoying to need glass when you don't have any. The rest of our sand we can bring down and store. I'm using compacting drawers because you can store many thousands of them, but you could store your sand or anything in any way you'd like. The rest of our sand we take down this line and haunt it into soul sand. And I think you know where we're going with this. We're going to store some of our soul sand in case the Vaulter needs it, and the rest gets washed into quartz and gold, making a very effective gold, iron, quartz, flint, clay, soul sand, sand, and gravel, and glass farm. What an incredible machine. I'm pretty sure everything I just mentioned is required in the Vault Altar for certain crystals, so this farm covers such a huge basis of them. Well, thank you so much for sticking it to the end of the video. If you enjoyed, please subscribe. I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of March. It would mean so much to me if you would join our amazing community and check out some of my other videos. If you have any questions, please post them in the comments. I love answering questions. Information is my domain. And yeah, I hope to see what you guys thought. If you liked it, if you liked the music, I'm still experimenting with that. You know, just tell me your thoughts in the comments. I love compliments. Please compliment me.